our Dungeon Master tip of the podcast, integrate NPCs with the PCs. When you're setting up a game story, you want your players to engage with the story as much as possible. So you want them to care, and integrating their characters with the people of the world is a great way to do that. The best stories always come out from the interplay between both sides of the screen, and that starts on the DM's end. And you guys have actually touched on how important NPCs are previously in the episode. Man, I'm really liking all these throwbacks to the beginning. But callbacks, I think is what that's called. In
Easter eggs.
When you can tie these to the PCs directly, I think in the starting set it does it really well. I think with the Rogue and the Red brands, the Rogue is directly tied to the Red brands because they're like Ant kidnaps them or something like that. So there's a direct confrontation there. What do you guys think about this Dungeon Master tip?
I just did this with my Scourge of the Nightingale Song of War. Within that adventure, you're traveling with a bunch of red plume recruits, and each of those recruits is an NPC block or a summary and what they want and why they're there. And so they see the adventures as someone to learn from. So these recruits go up and start talking to them, like, there's a thief who wants to learn how to pick locks, a druid who doesn't know that she's a druid but has always been attached to animals and wants to learn more druid stuff, and so may approach a ranger or a druid. And so they're establishing these bonds on this way to a large war. And so it's trying to get the characters involved with the NPCs so that when they get to the final battle, they're worried about the NPCs.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Another great way to do that, if you have a group that's really comfortable with role-playing, is to introduce these characters and then get your players to tell you something about that NPC.
Exactly.
So this is your friend Steve. Tell me one cool thing about Steve. And then they have a little bit of a sense of ownership, and then they care.
Steve can juggle.
I like that. Really fits in well because that's something I've done a lot. I wouldn't say I'm not a very well prepared DM. Like, I have a beginning, middle, and end, and that's pretty much it. So when I run my adventures, I constantly rely on the players to build that stuff for me, and that's going to come up a lot in next week's discussion. But hey, I want to walk in. I want to go see the armor. All right, who is it? What? Is it a dwarf? No, it's a halfling. Okay, what's his name? And having them describe that gives them bigger connection, build to the
completely.
Yeah, so I really like that. I got a whole episode planned for that because I'm a big fan of that, and that's how I make my life. So look at the NPCs that are important to the story and imagine how you can introduce them to the characters or tie them to the characters, because if an NPC you introduce in the story is just some random stranger in a tavern, it's far less impactful than an NPC as like a mentor or relative. It doesn't have to be a villain directly, right? Like you mentioned the druid and trainer and stuff. When they are tied to him, if Willie comes up and asks Brandon for help, Brandon, tell me about Willie and how you've known him for 10 years and what's important to him. That becomes more important because he now has more reason to actually give a damn.
We used to be fishermen. We were best buds.
Yeah. You know why he doesn't fish? That's why he's lost his left hand.
Yes, there was a horrible mooring accident where the mooring line snapped and took his arm off.
Was it your fault, player character? Was it?
I did tie too tight,
There you go.
and it was a high tide.
Oh, that's funny. That's why you send part of your earnings to him, since he can't farm or anything, or barely even fish anymore.
And the NPCs, they can leave the impact.
Yeah.
They can't, again with Rezo.
Poor Rezo.
I had Austin tearing up. I had you tearing up, I think, too.
Oh, I want to cry.
And he's just... He was a Kenku who was either meant to be arrested or killed. And they was like, oh, you're going to come with us. You're going to be our best pal. And they grew attached to him. It was like, I'm going to fuck him up.
I hate you. Rest in peace, Rezo. Anyways, do you have any other points on this, integrating your NPCs with the PCs?
No.
I actually just thought of one. If you like to use the factions, this is a great way to do that. Tying the factions into the PCs, they should have a direct contact. Like if you're doing the I can't even think of one of the stupid. What is the factions' names? The Harpers. Maybe a Harper person becomes an important NPC because they're constantly giving you work to do. That's a good way to do that. So get use out of those anyway, because I know some people don't like to use those, but they're really cool. Also, I ran the Red Plumes there, Jeff, and those are some racist bastards, and I had not had more fun running an adventure and making my players hate my effing guts than I did running those Red Plume adventures. Oh, it was so much fun to terrorize them and just be mean to them. Of course, when your players...
We have a Red Plume adventure in Eat the Rich as well.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Are they douchebag? Well, that would fit. Yeah, I was going to say, they're gonna fit that, I bet.
My Red Plumes aren't assholes.
Oh, shame.
They're new recruits that are learning, so.
Yeah. Well, they're learning to become assholes then.
They could be, yes.
What if you did an adventure where the players sign up to be Red Plumes and then they realize how shitty they are? Then you players have to make a lot of moral decisions. I love it. I'm bad. I'm going to rot in the 9 hells. You're getting ahead of us. Our next episode is all about including storytelling is not just the DM's job. So that's a really